Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Today we're going to actually focus on active and passive voice in literature. The story, The Medicine Bag, it uses active and passive voice quite a bit throughout the novel. You will be able to better find these examples once we go through the definitions of active and passive voice. I know last year you hit on active and passive voice a little bit. This year we're going to hit on it just a little bit right now, and then later on in the year we're going to go more in depth. For right now, you just need to know the basics. So what is voice? Voice is something that shows whether the subject of the verb is performing the action or receiving it. The two types of voices are active voice and passive voice. These are always verbs. Active voice, the subject performs the action. So it's being done right then and there. Passive voice, the subject receives the action. So maybe it happened earlier, later. Maybe it is currently happening, but it's taking place first. So if you look at the examples right here in this chart, active voice, it says we filled the bucket. Okay, so we are filling it right now. We filled it. We did it together. We did it. So the subject was performing the action. For passive voice, for that one, it says the bucket was filled. The subject is receiving the action. The other example for active voice is Allison is winning the race. Okay, she currently is winning the race. Allison is winning the race. The race is being won by Allison. Okay, she's receiving the action of winning the race. I'm going to pull up a couple examples for you. So there's this chart. This chart gives you different sentence examples for active and passive voice. So the first one is, Harry ate 6 shrimp at dinner. That's active because Harry ate them. He is performing it. Passive would be, at dinner, 6 shrimp were eaten by Harry because Harry came at the end. Okay, so active is Harry's doing it. Passive is Harry's receiving it. This one, Sue changed a flat tire. Sue is doing it. Sue changed the flat tire. She did it herself, and she did it first. She is doing the action. Passive, the flat tire was changed by Sue. So Sue, she did it, but she did it afterwards. Okay, the action was already done prior to that. So right now, this kind of helps a little bit. So active voice, it tells what a person or thing does. The subject performs the action and typically comes before the action, which is the verb. In these sentences, that is pretty much true. Okay, I ran. Ran is the verb. I is the subject. Okay, it comes before the action. Passive voice, it tells what is done to someone or something. The subject performs the action and typically comes after the verb. The obstacle course was run by me in record time. Was run comes before the subject, which is me. Therefore, it makes it passive voice. I will add this chart as a link on your remote learning section of Planbook. So once we go through all of this, I want you to go back to the handout we were just looking at. This one right here. If you scroll down, you'll see that there are some examples. 1, A, B, and C. 2, and 3, A, B, and C. These are the same exact examples that are out of your book. What I want you to do first is I want you to go through these examples on Teams, and I want you to answer the questions correctly. So identify whether each sentence uses active or passive voice. You're literally just afterwards going to type in active or passive after these 3. Mark and label one example of passive and active voice in the paragraph, and this is straight out of your text, out of the medicine bag. Then you're going to revise the sentences to use the active voice. So these are all written in passive voice, and they want you to put it into active voice. This is just practice for you. Once this is done, you're going to go to Teams and open the active and passive voice worksheet. This is an assignment that you need to complete, and it will be taken for a grade. But I want you to follow directions and practice working with active and passive voice. Once this is finished, in class, we'll go a little more in depth with some different examples and feedback from different students. but I would like to see your work on this worksheet to kind of judge where you're at in your understanding of active and passive voice. Once we're done with this, we actually are going to start doing something called a retelling. In the medicine bag, there are so many details that the author puts out there for you that you can kind of figure out the way Grandpa, who is not the narrator, feels about many of the things taking place. What you're going to do is you're going to retell the story of the medicine bag, but you're doing it from Grandpa's point of view. Based on the details provided in the story, imagine what Grandpa's journey was like to see his family. What were his impressions of Martin and his friends? How does he feel about giving the medicine bag to Martin to preserve a sacred Lakota tradition? You're going to write this. I'm not going to tell you how long it needs to be. What I'm going to tell you is it does need to include all of the major details from the story, the major events. But Grandpa's the narrator this time. So obviously you're writing it in first-person point of view with Grandpa being the narrator. So therefore, if Martin speaks, is he the narrator? No. He is just a character. So make sure to do the following. Look at these bullets right here. It says, make Grandpa the narrator, the character who tells a story using the pronoun I. Include details, thoughts, feelings, and insights from Grandpa's point of view. Your retelling should cover all of the main events from the story. This means multiple paragraphs. This also means your retelling must be organized. You will be graded on correct grammar, punctuation, and spelling. These things are very, very critical. This is not due on Thursday. You're actually going to work on this on Tuesday and Wednesday, so it's considered cross-curricular. And with that being said, on Friday is when it will be due. In-class students will be sharing these out with the class, but you will obviously not be sharing them out with the class, and that's fine, but you will be sharing them with me. So if you have any questions, please let me know. But that is what is expected from you guys today. So I hope you have a good night. Let me know if I can help you in any way.